Welcome to Beyond County Lines with Daniel and Olivia. Olivia, I'm super excited today. We're going to talk to a lot of staff members in Santa Fe County about some spooky stories. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Angel Larañada. I work in human resources for Santa Fe County. I've been with the county for only 4 months as of tomorrow, but I've enjoyed my time here so far.
Well, welcome to our team.
Thank you.
I hope you're adjusting, feel good about your new job.
For the most part, yeah. I love it. I love my team that I work with, and we're a good team, so it makes me feel good.
4 months and you've already experienced some scary stuff in this building?
Spooky. I'd say more flabbergasting.
Tell us about them.
Yet. So there's been a few times in the office that, we hear whispers here and there in the office, either directly to us or just kind of in the distance. One of my coworkers who kind of sits catty corner to me, behind me, last week, I was sitting at my desk working and I heard my name the way she would say it in a sing-song type way of Angel. And I turned and I looked for her and I was like, what? She's like, what do you mean what? I didn't say anything. I was like, you didn't just call my name. She's like, no, I didn't. And I was like, okay, weird. Well, yesterday, my other coworker was walking past my desk and her typing at my desk. I was in my supervisor's office.
Okay.
Nowhere near my desk. So there's some instances that are a little spooky and off.
And this is happening in the middle of the day, right?
Yeah.
So you're not working after hours, right?
No, I leave at 5 o'clock.
Oh my God.
But it's during the day. There's another instance where there's plenty of instances. But my coworker and I were at the coffee machine, and to the left of her, she heard her name, Carrie. And I heard, when you're frustrated and you just, yes, that's what I heard. But she heard her name.
Mm.
And so it's whispers, it's typing, it's the light in one of our supervisor's office randomly turning on for no reason. They're sensors, but all of our lights are censored.
Yeah, but they're movement based.
Exactly.
So that means somebody has to be walking through for the lights to go on.
For the door to be open, because I tested it. I was like, okay, let me see. So I did some jumping jacks and the light didn't turn on. And I was just standing there at the doorway and it just clicked on. And I don't know if you guys ever get that feeling of you're like, oh, I should go knock on the door. And I had that, and something just ate at me don't touch that door. Don't knock on the door. I was like, I'm going to go sit down and just get started on work. But it's been interesting.
That's pretty creepy. I've had one experience here, if you don't mind me sharing.
Please.
It's in the office. I was the only person in the building. It was at nighttime though.
Oh.
I was on a WebEx meeting, so there's video footage of me freaking out. I was in a meeting.
Find that.
Yeah.
I was in a meeting, and my office is right next to another office, and I heard the doorknob kind of jiggle, and the door slide open, it rubbed against the ground, and I was the only one. The lights were all off, the sensor was off, the light was up in the main lobby area, and on WebEx, the recording, I'm like, the heck was that? And I'm freaking out, I gotta get the heck out of here. And all the lights are motion sensors, so the hallway, everything. I'm freaking out, so I called Sarah, stay on the phone with me. I don't know what the hell's going on. As I walked down the hall, it was freaky, but that was it. And now I think it was just the air conditioner.
To jiggle a doorknob though, yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
There's some interesting things here. This property isn't not scary. It's a very historic property, and a lot of things have happened in this building.
Yeah.
And that holds energy and that resonates. And when there's people walking through, that disturbs disturbs that energy, and that's when it comes forth.
Yeah.
Well, historically, if you didn't know, this was actually the home of Donna Tula.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the early, it was in 1835 that this was her home. She was a very wealthy Mexicana who owned some of the local businesses in the area, and which is now the local Bochum building. Used to be the game hall and a brothel, and people. There was a saloon there at the time, all in Buro Alley. And so you can pick up any book in Santa Fe and read about how there was hangings there in the plaza, and just all these eerie historical things that have happened, right? Of killings and loots and murder, and it was the West. Yeah, and here we are in this historic property,
The wild Southwest.
very much so.
Yeah, very, very. Thank you so much for your stories. It's always good to hear the scary stuff that goes on in this building.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say scary. It's more of like, did that really happen? Should I ignore that? Because if you pay it more attention, it's gonna get stronger.
True.
But
Well, I call it scary because it makes me scared.
it makes me scared.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
Yeah.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you for
Have a good
joining
day.
us.
Hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, thanks. You told me a few scary stories. Like some I think within this building at 102 Grant.
Yes.
And then some in your personal, like where you live or your family's houses. And I want the county listeners and Olivia to hear these stories because they're like really, they're bone chilling.
Well, thank you for having me here to begin with. My name is Eric Clokey. I've been with the assessor's office 16 years, and then I left for about 4 years, and I just recently came back to join the assessor's office, which has been really awesome and amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. I'm glad to see you back. I used to work in the assessor's office with them.
So is that how you guys met?
Yeah.
But Eric does have some crazy stories and want him to share. Would you mind sharing?
It started one morning. I was coming in to open the office for overtime with the assessor's office. It was when the old part of the building was here. And that morning happened to come in a little earlier than everybody else. They were coming in a little after I was. That morning I came to open the door, and when I opened the door, I walked into the building, and of course nobody was here at all in the building. But I did come in, and I heard some commotion going on. So as I heard the commotion, it caught my attention. I took a step in the front door, and of course I listened a little bit, and I heard footsteps, and it sounded like several people were in the building.
Yep.
And at that moment I said, okay, I'm not gonna go in yet because I don't know what, it looks like no one's here from the outside, and I don't want to walk in anything. And at that moment I heard shatter, a glass just break, completely shattered. And it sounded from inside and very close to where I was. And at the moment that the glass shattered, I heard footsteps, people running. I thought it was a group
Oh my gosh.
You have,
people.
like,
I don't know.
burglars.
It was, yeah. And I said, oh boy, we have a situation. So I stepped back from the building, and I said, no, I better go check this out. So I was walking into the building. I walked around and looked around the halls, kind of turned the corner, and nobody was there. I said, what in the world was I hearing? Where I heard the noise of the glass shatter, I went there first, and there was nothing. No glass was broken, no nothing. And then I said, okay, I think I'm safe. So I began to work, and later on that same morning, actually, later on, I went upstairs, and it sounded like there was vacuuming going on. It was up here on this part where you all are here.
Uh-huh.
And I said, are there janitors here, or what is going on? So as I came up to kind of look around, had my attention, there was nothing in the presence. So I said, I better get out of here. I kind of started, it was pretty creepy. It started creeping me out a little bit, and I left. I left the building, and I told Frescus that a little later on, and he told me that he had some experiences himself here, like that. So,
But that's scary because glass is loud.
It is.
You can't
It was
like
loud.
use that for anything.
Yeah.
Like, so to hear that early in the morning, and then there was no activity, like
Exactly.
that's a lot of energy, right?
Yeah, it was, and it just seemed like there was a group. I thought maybe kids were in the building and they shattered some glass, and I spooked them and they ran out the building, but it wasn't. There was not anything to my knowledge that I saw that that can relate to what I heard.
And the tables turned, you got spooked and you ran out.
I did. I said, no, I ain't safe here, man. It's kind of...
Well, in a similar way, I also kind of heard something one time. I was at home, so it's not in relation to the county, but my mom and I had finished washing dishes, and we put all the spoons, in the holder. So after you're in the drain board, and we sit down, and it sounded like somebody grabbed all the spoons and was throwing them against the floor. And her and I both looked back, and they were not moving. I mean, we had just washed them. We were looking at them. And it just happened over and over again, like violently, like somebody was throwing all the spoons on the floor, and we were really freaked out. And then it stopped, and the house was like extremely quiet. And about 15, 20 minutes later, my dad gets home, and he tells me, he says, oh, I have bad news. He's like, my cousin passed away. And I said, well, he must have came to visit to come tell you goodbye, because he was like maybe looking for some lunch or something, because he was... all the spoons. So hearing your story about the glass reminded me that there's some ghostly.
Yeah, something was going on, and I realized at that moment I was alone, but I wasn't alone. There was definitely something in there that was there.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. I appreciate you joining.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, have a wonderful Halloween. Thanks for joining.
All right, we've had a couple of great stories from two employees, and now we have a really scary one, I think. Would you mind introducing yourself and then sharing your scary story?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me today. My name is Melinda Jagels-Mokino. I am the Deputy HR Risk Management Division Director. Spooky title is really long to begin. And I work for risk management. Yes.
What happened? You said that something happened in this building.
Yeah.
What happened?
I have a habit, and my habit is being a workaholic. There's no help for that but a cure. So that's one thing.
I'm going to add, when you say I'm a workaholic, there's going to be...
Yeah. So there's no cure for being a workaholic, right? So as I was working late one night, we have the COVID screening machines in our office. COVID was done with, so we had the setup of multi machines in our office in a cubicle, and they're censored. They only work, or they only go off. They're voice activated, so they go off when someone's standing in front of it. Well, I'm working away in my office, and all of a sudden, the voice come
closer.
Yes, exactly. That comes in, and I'm like, what? So I ignored it the first time. And I'm like, I didn't hear that. Second time, please come closer. And I'm like, did I really just hear that? So I got up and I went to the cubicle and I moved the COVID screening machine so it wouldn't react, or maybe, I don't know, towards the wall. And I closed the door to the cubicle, went back to my office, started working because I love to work. Addicted to that. Anyway, so I was working, and then again it went off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, it's time to go. So, and the lights were off because the lights themselves are censored to go off and on. So only if there's motion, but if there's no motion, they don't go off. So you always have to turn the light switch on, but there was nothing. And then another coworker stated the same thing too. They were like, yeah, we heard it one night, and we're like, okay, we're out of here. So, but yeah.
I heard that thing go up when it was in the hallway by itself too. I'd be on the other end and I can hear it. And it was creepy in the hallway. Like, even your story just sent chills up my spine. But in the hallway it sucks too, because it's like, please come closer. And then it just echoes down and you're like, oh my God.
But imagine like the lights off and then it tells you, please come closer. It's like, no, actually don't, like, go the other way.
Yes, I'm like, what was that? Why are you talking to me? Why are you telling me to come closer? Yeah, so
yeah, that's terrifying.
Kind of crazy. And then I was like, all right, it's time to go. So maybe that is the solution to being a workaholic. I don't know.
Scare that out of you.
Please come closer, and you leave.
Yeah.
There you go. I have no idea, but yeah.
So what I'm going to do for all these stories is I'm going to torment everybody. So I'm going to come to your office and just play that sound. I'm going to look it up on YouTube. I'm sure it's somewhere. And just play it randomly. Please come
closer.
They're all in the box in the basement. It's like, we don't have to worry about them. They're not set out.
That'll be even creepier if you hear it.
Yeah, they hear it in the box saying, please come closer. Yeah, that would be creepy. In the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the basement's haunted too.
Ooh, yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I came here once, went downstairs. I brought a friend at 11 o'clock at night because I was like, I wonder if we'll see anything. Went to the basement, and it was like the most peaceful time of my life. I was like, why isn't this scary at all? Because
Well, I actually went down there like maybe the first 2 weeks I was here. They were showing me around. We went downstairs. And in fact, they were to bring masks. So we were sliding those masks in and sliding them down the stairs and stacking them up in that basement area. And so Curious Melinda went to go look to see the rest of the area. And I realized there was like a conference room down there. They told me that you guys used to take breaks down there. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Well, when you turn to your right, there's like adobe structures in there, and I saw a light go across. So I was like, I'm not looking in there.
You saw an
Yeah.
orb.
Something. I don't know. That was scary to me. This thing here was kind of like, okay, what?
When this building
Still scary.
first opened, when it was the county courthouse, they actually used to detain inmates here. And so you never know, like, what happened in the jail, because this was actually the first jail when the county opened. So that whole basement area, it's scary.
pretty creepy. Yeah. Olivia wants to put headlamps on and go in the middle of the night and go down there. And
Trying to convince Daniel that we could have our own Blair Witch trial and to invoke him and here at the county and see what we see at night.
Yeah.
I'll do it if the viewers say that they want it. So
I'll
Please-
probably
Please
still be
convince Daniel.
I'll probably still be here, so catch me if you can. Come closer if you can.
he's good.
Yeah, get me to come closer to me while I work away.
We'll hear Melinda at night.
Yeah.
We'll just come up here with the cameras and the headlamps. This is where she works.
Oh, little run.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Melinda. That was
You
a
too.
really fun story. And yeah,
Thank you for having me. I hope you have more stories.
yes, we have a few people who are fun to world to share.
Yeah.
So my name is Paul Portillo. I work with the DWI prevention team right now. Actually, next Monday, I'm going to start with Public Works. I'm going to solid waste compliance. Yeah, thank you.
Well, they're gonna miss you. You've been there for a while, man.
Yeah, I've been here a while, and actually on the 7th of this month was my 14-year anniversary with the county.
Wow.
And I started with DWI on April 2nd, 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been here a while. So I'm gonna miss my peeps,
Sure.
over there. at
Great
TSD.
team for sure.
Yeah, it is. So so that's I'm the DWI prevention team right now. Until Monday,
Awesome. Well, Public Works is gonna, it'll be a good place for you to start. It's a great team as well, and we're glad we're not losing you altogether. So
Right? Yeah. No. I've I like working for the county, so I'm staying here.
Yeah, that's good.
So what are the spooks?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Tell us the story.
Okay, so let's see. I was in the Navy at the time. I was stationed out in San Diego, and it was probably about 2006. No, about 2005. About 2005. Me and my girlfriend, which is now my wife, we went to the Whaley House. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with the Whaley House at all? I wasn't aware of it either. She's like, "Oh, we should go to the Whaley House. It's supposed to be the most haunted house in San Diego." So I was like, "Nah, all right, let's go." So, we went.
Well, first, who are the Whaleys for people who don't know? Like, what's the history behind the house or the building?
Well, I don't know the exact history of everything, but I do know that it was like a courthouse at one time, and then somebody actually lived there, and it was like several different things throughout its, it's still standing, but, in its, I guess, heyday, if you want to call it that. But it was a courthouse at one point, and then there was actually, it turned into an actual house afterwards. Somebody lived in it. So, you can take a tour of it, and you can go in, and as soon as I walked in this place, like I felt like this this like something in my chest, like pushing me, like a pressure right in the center of my chest, like don't go in there.
Wow.
So this is where it gets kind of weird, you know what I mean? So, you know, we're going through there and we're checking it out, and they got somebody up front, and he's like, a tour guide, and he's like, well, this is the blah 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 room, whatever, So you're going through it, and my wife, she's my girlfriend at the time, she's like, there's somebody hanging in that tree. And I was like, yeah, right. She's like, no, I can see there's somebody hanging in there. So I said, oh, that's crazy. You can see that? And she's like, yeah, I can see it. And then like a little bit after that, the tour guide's like, and this is the courthouse part, and this is where they used to hang people outside. So it was an experience. So like I said, the whole time I had this pressure in my chest. So we do the tour, come back, and I videotaped a little bit. Back then you had the camcorders, and they had the little discs. Remember those?
Yeah.
So we go back to the apartment. We had, as our roommates were there, and we had some of our friends over. And kind of the way this table is set up right here, like on this side over here would have been the kitchen, and on that side was like the living room. Okay.
Yeah, open concept. So you can
exactly.
Way done.
Exactly. And then on this side here, there was a wall at the refrigerator, stove, and all that stuff. So, we're talking on this side of the kitchen area. It's a small apartment. It's probably about the same size as this right here. And, we're talking, me and my wife, our roommates, and everybody else on the other side, and they're just talking, laughing, whatever, you know what I mean? And I was leaning up against the refrigerator, okay? And I feel something like hit my back. I was like, oh man, what the heck was that, And so I looked back and I grabbed my shirt, and it was wet, but I had my back to the refrigerator, and there was nothing on the fridge. Fridge door was closed, you know what I mean? So, excuse me. So then, my wife, she starts yelling. She's like screaming. She's like, ah, and she's like grabbing her stomach. Takes her to the floor, like she falls on the floor, and she's like screaming and all this stuff, right? And it's loud. It's loud. Here's a weird thing though. Everybody on the other side of that table didn't hear anything. It was like they were in their own like world or something. It was weird.
They didn't hear your wife screaming?
Didn't hear nothing. Nothing. Because they stayed, just talking. I mean, there wasn't a bunch of us. There was just a few of us there. So it wasn't like you wouldn't have heard it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, everybody, we continue on, and, we kind of told everybody what happened, and everybody's like, no, I didn't hear you scream or anything. I was like, look at my shirt, So we, everybody goes home, and one of our friends, she stayed the night. So everybody goes to bed, and, me and my wife were laying there and fell asleep. And then she just wakes up. She's like, oh, it's choking me. And she's like yelling and like, trying to like get her breath. Yeah. So I start, I freak out, and I'm like looking at her, and I'm trying to I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So, first thing I think of doing, sing a prayer. I couldn't get a prayer out of my mouth to save my life. Like I couldn't think of anything.
You were like paralyzed.
Like blank. Yeah, everything was blank. Like I couldn't think of nothing. But check this out. So the light, there was a light in the hallway, a little tiny hallway. And the light was on. And underneath, the door, you have a gap like that. So I could see something pacing back and forth like a shadow underneath the door, just pacing back and forth. Finally, I'm able to start, thinking, I'm able to say a prayer and like, everything's cool. So needless to say, we didn't go to sleep at all that night.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, the next morning we get up and we tell our friend, hey, this is what happened. And like, she was freaked out about it. And, so I think, we brought, I feel that we brought something with that disc. Yeah, from that house on that disc. So I took the disc out, boom, they're in the trash.
Wow, that's freaking scary.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Did your wife ever say like that she felt like the sensations of people like choking her?
Well, that's what she said. She woke up and she just said, it's choking me. It's choking me.
Wow.
So, and then, we had in that apartment, this was in Imperial Beach, still Silverado, San Diego. And there was a lady who, she was a ghost in our apartment. She was friendly though. She was chill. She would just, she really was. Like at night, you'd hear like she'd get into the cabinets and like move dishes and stuff like that around, and you'd hear that stuff, but it was no biggie. Or sometimes you'd wake up in the morning, TV would be on, and it would be like it would be on the oldies channel, like the oldies music, but it would just play the song, but there was like no video. You know what I mean? It's just the song, and then like it would say like the name of the song, and that was yeah, and the TV would be on that. So, just weird stuff like that. Being on an old ship in the Navy, you see things like out of the corner of your eye, you're like, well, did I just see that? Yeah.
Being on night watch or something. That could be spooky.
Yeah. One time I was working, because we worked 12 on, 12 off. Well, supposedly. But at one point I worked in the night into the early morning, and we had just finished flight operations, and I came back down from the roof on the aircraft carrier, and I sat down in the chair for a little bit, and I guess I dozed off, and I felt somebody, what a flecha is now,
Oh yeah.
the back of your head like that. I felt one of those to the back of my head, and I woke up and I looked around. Of course, there's nobody there. And then like 30 seconds later, an officer walked in.
Wow.
I was like,
Helping you out.
Yeah, someone was helping me out.
It was like, levántate, wake up.
Yep, exactly.
Those are crazy ones. Those are some scary stories. I can't imagine him being choked or watching somebody freak out like that.
Well, they say like some of those haunted places, like I've heard some stories about the Whaley House, but that you go into those places and they're very active. And so if you're not careful, like, things will follow you.
Yeah,
that's
they
why
get attached to
people
you.
live in haunted houses too. They say like, it could be scary. The kids see things, and even if they move away.
Anytime I walk into this building, I've had a one crazy interaction, not that scary like what you experienced, but anytime I'm in here alone, because I come to work sometimes at 7 in the morning or for EBC on the weekends.
Right.
And when I'm the only one here, I definitely feel something. But I'll sing when I'm coming down the hallway. I'll like just sing one of my favorite songs. I'm like, I think the ghost likes this. I'm just gonna
So also to distract yourself.
Yeah.
Nice to work at Bochum. It was really dark.
You know what? Yeah, I've heard about that place. Yeah. Well, and that one too, the new building over there. I used to come in, a little bit early. I get there like 7:30, 7:40-ish. And, I'd start, getting ready for the day. And I would hear talking on the other side, and I'd be like, oh, my boss is already here. So then I go around to say, good morning and what's up and all that stuff. Nobody's there. I'm like, man, this is weird. And this happened it didn't happen every day, but it would happen, on occasion. Yeah.
Wow.
So this building, that building, Bochum, I they're definitely, there's definitely some weird stuff going on.
Well, we'll see now that you go to Public Works, what kind of creepy stuff's going on over there off of 14.
Yeah, is there anything I need to know
I
about?
just heard something, I don't know the details, but one of the directors over there called me for something, and he wanted to be on the podcast. He's like, I know it's last minute, but I've experienced some stuff over here at Public Works. And I was surprised by that because that building's kind of in the middle of nowhere and fairly new, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there could be stuff tied to the land. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So awesome.
Well, thank you, Paul, for
for sure,
with us and for sharing your story. And best of luck to you on your professional adventures here at the county. And thank you for all of your service.
Oh, well, thank you guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me. And yeah, we'll see what the next topic is. And, maybe I got something for you.
Love it. Well, have a happy Halloween.
Thank you. You too.